from the First Alert Desk. I need to start out with a story out of Aurora, where a man has been indicted by a grand jury for a drug overdose death. Beaufort County deputies say a grand jury indicted Tyron Dixon with felony death by distribution. The 25-year-old was arrested on Monday. The victim, 24-year-old Jaquan Cannon, was found dead back on December 11th of 2023. Now, Dixon was jailed on a $250,000 secured bond. Now, in other news, we do need to highlight the ongoing war in Gaza and the efforts to get aid to those suffering from famine and disease. NBC's Matt Bradley has more.
Well, the news here today is that Steve Witkoff, President Donald Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, who also does a lot of work with Russia and Ukraine, he just arrived here and he's going to be doing meetings with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other officials. This is actually a very interesting move because normally Mr. Witkoff doesn't come here unless there's some big deal in the offing, some ceasefire announcement that's about to be made, or major advances in peace talks. Now we know that that is not the case, but it looks as though the Israelis have said that they're pushing harder into the Gaza Strip now that those peace talks in Doha last week more or less have fallen apart. The situation in the Gaza Strip continues to be desperate. We just heard yesterday from officials there that at least 30 people were killed waiting in line for aid. And this is something that we're seeing on a regular basis. People dying in huge numbers, trying to get food in order to stay alive. Now, we've also heard from Hebrew language media, from the Israeli media, that Mr. Witkoff might actually go into the Gaza Strip and visit one of the sites operated by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. This is a controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed group that has taken up the mantle of distributing so far a lot of the aid that has been getting into the Gaza Strip. And this is now the fourth day since the Israelis have really just slightly opened the spigot of aid coming into the Gaza Strip. They're allowing other countries to airdrop aid. They've been bringing hundreds of truckloads of aid into the Gaza Strip. But officials there say, and UN and aid agencies, this isn't nearly enough, particularly to reverse the ravages of malnutrition on some of the youngest people, who so far make up more than half of about 150 dead from malnutrition ever since this war started. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Thank you very much, Matt, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast, where today we've been monitoring off and on showers and thunderstorms across parts of eastern North Carolina. Let's take a look at your visible satellite, and you can see we've certainly got more clouds over us today than what we had yesterday. But there are certainly still a few sun breaks to, again, warm us on up. But, of course, the cloud cover is concerning because, of course, that's going to bring some rain showers to eastern North Carolina. Now, some of those raindrops so far have been heaviest along the Crystal Coast from Onslow County across Carteret County. Right now, those raindrops, again, are getting lighter and lighter as they move across down east Carteret County. But for the most part, again, not seeing any sort of severe weather threat. So these are just your average run-of-the-mill downpours. Maybe a few stray storms, but nothing you need to worry about from a severe weather perspective. Now, could these showers get you wet and maybe foul up some grocery shopping, or maybe run in some errands where you were hoping to stay dry? Yes, absolutely. And it's one of those that we recommend either taking out an umbrella or maybe a light rain jacket. If you are just going out and about and running some errands coming up this afternoon over the next few hours, there will again be those off and on rain showers around. Now, Plymouth right now under one of those heavier downpours. You saw that whole system really kind of hang around the Roper area, then move right on northward up towards Plymouth, where again it is kind of blossomed into a heavier shower. We're keeping an eye not only, of course, on the rain showers along the Crystal Coast and the spot downpour over Plymouth, but also watching that kind of pocket of lighter showers back towards Raleigh. That has made it a very slow move towards the east, but heading towards Rocky Mount and Wilson may impact areas around northern Wayne County with some very light showers. Nothing worrying, though. Just want to give you an up-to-date look at exactly where the rain is currently and where it is heading. Now, out your door, current air temperatures read generally in the mid to upper 80s. There are a few areas right now reporting air temperatures in the low 90s, specifically Swan Quarter, Edenton, along with Windsor. Elizabeth City close at 89 degrees. Plymouth right now 88, but I imagine that air temperature is going to be coming down thanks to that downpour. Probably not going to be sitting at 88 by the time we check in the next 30 minutes to next hour, really. Now, as far as your heat index goes, it still feels like we are in the triple digits, and a big reason why is that we have seen humidity increase across eastern North Carolina, increase over the past 24 hours. Exactly what we don't want to hear. We've been talking about an incoming cold front arriving on Thursday, today, and that will help bring about cooler and, more importantly, lower humidity to eastern North Carolina. Clearly, that's not happening today. That lower humidity, that will be with us by the time we get into the weekend. Really on Sunday, but Saturday, really Friday and Saturday will be transition days. We'll gradually see the humidity drop over that 2-day time period. So here's a look again at Friday and then Sunday morning at 5:15 a.m. Things are looking pretty good. We have got, again, dry air moving in from the north. And just note, a lot of that drier air in Virginia will try to again make its way down into the region. That is an encouraging sight. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to hang on to this low humidity air throughout the rest of August. We'll see that humidity start to make a return to the region as we head through your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoons. Not only going to be, of course, the humidity making a return, but the heat will as well. We're not going to get oppressive, but we'll certainly be back in the mid to upper 80s by the end of the week. The area of low pressure that gave us, again, those isolated rain showers throughout the area so far today will gradually die off as we head towards 9 to 10 p.m. later on tonight. But as that happens, the cold front rolls in early Friday morning. And then the problem is the cold front itself is actually going to clear the coast, but then it's going to stall near the area. And you can see we're kind of almost circled by that frontal boundary. At least a good portion of eastern North Carolina will be close enough to it to promote more rain showers and, again, cloud cover throughout the area Friday afternoon to Friday evening. So we won't be able to fully say, all right, that drier air, that comfortable air is fully into eastern North Carolina until we get into your Saturday afternoon to Saturday evening, as that low pressure system over South Carolina sinks further southward. That is the key. That is what's really going to unlock that comfortableness that we were hoping for over the weekend. Specifically, air temperatures in the low 80s with overnight lows in the mid 60s. Yeah. That requires that low pressure system to dip down towards Jacksonville, Florida, which right now it's looking like it will do that coming up late Saturday evening into Sunday morning. And that, again, will make it feel incredible outside. We've got gradually returning heat through next week. 81 degrees Sunday, 83 Monday, 86 on Tuesday and Wednesday, 88 on Thursday. But so long as our overnight lows stay in the upper 60s to low 70s, it will still be comfortable outside, especially compared to what we're dealing with today. Well, that's all we have time for today's 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.